Okay, this group, it made a post and it said, what's rich people shit that poor people have never heard of? Let's get into it. Starting off strong, kidnap and ransom insurance. I'm not in that tax bracket. I knew a guy who didn't think in terms of legal, illegal, just in terms of how much something cost. We went to a restaurant and he parked in a no parking zone. I said, we can't park here. And he replied, yeah, we can. It just costs $750. One of my friends was friends with the son of some Malaysian oil company execs. They had air conditioning on their front lawn. This is my favorite. Orchid daycare. You send your non-blooming orchid in to be taken care of until it blooms again in exchange for a blooming one so that you always have a blooming orchid in your house. Can we bring this to Atlanta? Because I'd pay for that. Summer as a verb, not a season. Blew my mind. You hear those commercials? Verb, it's what you do. That's what rich people do. They summer. Okay, so I worked landscaping for rich folks in Denver, Colorado area, and I heard of a family that built a miniature town in a sunken location and flooded it with water so that they could go scuba diving through it. Never mind. I know a billionaire who wanted swans swimming in a pond outside of his home, but was disappointed when their feathers molted and they looked scruffy. He used a swan rental service that rotates out the swans periodically so that they always look pristine. That's a waste of money in my opinion, but whatever. My sister cleans houses in Phoenix. One of her clients was diagnosed with cancer and asked if she would look after her dog if she passed away. About a year later, she died and her estate provided my sister with $36,000 a year to take care of the dog as long as the dog is alive. The dog now lives with her and her fiance. All she has to do is Zoom with an attorney every 3 months to show the dog is alive, and she gets $9,000 for the next 3 months. The house was resold and she still cleans that very house. Okay. I would ride this out for like 30 plus years if I was her, going to the pound, trying to find an identical one if they're only going to be on Zoom, but never mind. For the absurdly rich who want a classic library with leather-bound books that simply aren't available in leather binding, there are companies that will curate a collection based on your taste. They'll print out the books on premium non-acidic paper and bind them all to match or fit a particular theme. This service typically starts in the mid-six figures. Okay. I know a man who makes very good money managing a yacht for a very wealthy man. The boat is docked in Jamaica most of the time. The owner uses it about 4 weeks a year, but it's staffed year-round. The man I know lives on it with his wife, but they're free to do whatever they want 48 weeks a year. That's a pretty good deal. I wouldn't mind doing that. And last but certainly not least, my uncle was a principal for an international private school. Rich people hire educational agents to represent their kids. They send those agents across the world to private school fairs, and their job is to match the kid, who can be as young as 10, profile with the best school available that matches what the family wants. Each agent have a portfolio of kids, and they get a commission from the school when they match a kid with them. LOL. Damn, that's a good ass setup, but you can make commission in anything, I guess. And if that doesn't make you feel poor, I don't know what will. All right, I gotta go. I'll call you back later. Bye.